welcome everybody to the third episode of Triple Threat Talk. We're going to get into some sports here, but guys, we really know what the hell we're talking about, don't we?
It's good to be back. Took a week off, had some technical issues, but we are back here.
Yeah, and then we're going to start it off with sports, and as any show, not to demean tennis, but we're going to start off at the low end of the totem pole and kind of move up a little bit. We're gonna switch it over to Big B, and he's gonna talk a little bit about the French Open.
And obviously, hopefully, you jump in as well. French Open happened this past Sunday, and everyone thought it was gonna be Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic. A lot riding on the line for Novak Djokovic. He faced Roger Federer in the semifinals, and if he beat Roger Federer, he'd been the number one player in the world, which would have been a huge deal to him. But Federer, people didn't talk about Roger Federer, and that's pretty interesting. He's like, people consider him the greatest of all time. And I was talking about him because it's all about Djokovic and Nadal at this tournament. And Federer comes in and beats and knocks the Djokovic off the court. So Djokovic, you know about streaks in sports. He had a 41-match streak going on. He didn't lose all of 2011.
Unbelievable.
And he lost to Federer at the semifinals. And then French Open, Federer was playing great in the semifinals against Djokovic. His serve was on. He was making minimal mistakes. But the same thing remains. Federer loses to Nadal at the French Open yet again. Nadal has 6 Grand Slam titles. 6 is a lot in the French Open. Bjorn Borg, one of the tennis greats, also has 6 at the French Open. And now that gives Nadal double digits. He has 10 Grand Slam titles. He is only 6 behind Roger Federer, and he is 4 years older than Roger Federer.
And I think also, I did want to, and I'm not a tennis fan at all, but whenever stories such as the one I'm about to say cross my desk, per se, I do want to mention that. I think that tennis and golf are... And I do like golf, but I think they're a lot good. There's a lot going on there for sportsmanship, and this story accounts for that. Is Roger Federer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Roger Federer. He, I mentioned this to Big B off air, and he thought it'd be great to mention. There was a serve in which a line judge in tennis ruled too long, and what that means is basically the serve would have been ineligible, and the match at that point would have gone to his opponent because it was the first hand serve, right? So what happened was Roger Federer went back and checked the line where it hit because he had a feeling it had hit inside the line, and in fact, it had hit on the inner half of the inner line, so that means it counts. Roger Federer walked off the court to switch sides for the match, and that's something you rarely see. Like in the NBA, like we'll talk about in a minute, you don't see LeBron James, if he gets fouled, or Kobe Bryant, or anybody really. If you get fouled, you take that. You don't say, no, that's good. He didn't really touch me. It's a bad call. Yeah. No, you don't see that. And I do want to commend all the sportsmen, the sportsmen who do that thing, like Roger Federer. That was just an amazing bit of sportsmanship, and I think that commendation goes out.
The thing is about the French Open. All the other Grand Slam tournaments, I believe the Australian Open has it as well. I saw the U.S. Open in Wimbledon, which is coming up in a few weeks here at the All England Club in London. They all have the shot spot thing, which is like the Hawkeye thing, which they can challenge the call. Yeah. They can see where the ball went. They have the capabilities on the main courts, and they can check and they can challenge it. They don't have that at the French Open, so that's a big part of that.
Absolutely.
Right. Indeed. And the thing is, they have the marks there on the clay, so they can see where the ball is, and sometimes they don't get that right.
Exactly.
So now, for tennis fans out there, the discussion begins now. Nadal has 10. Can he be the greatest ever? Because Federer cannot beat Nadal the French Open. He just hasn't done it yet. He's won the French Open, but he didn't have to beat Nadal to do it. So now, Nadal has 10. He's only 6 behind Federer, and he's 4 years young. He's got more time. And Federer's almost 30, so.
I think time's a ticking.
Time is a ticking.
All right, that's it for the French Open, guys.
We want to switch over to the what do you
NBA playoffs here. Let's talk about a little NBA action here.
Well, you know what? Let's stick to the totem pole. Let's do NHL.
Okay, well we can go to NHL. That's
America's lie.
All right, Vancouver Canucks, Boston Bruins.
Those crazy mother Canuckers.
Those Canuckers.
Last night the Canucks had a chance to go up 3-0.
Canucks could have really put a cock lock on the championship, to say the least. And last night they went into Boston, and let's just say, from a wrestling standpoint, the Bruins laid the smackdown on the Canucks.
8-1. 8-1. I saw on SportsCenter this morning it was the biggest defeat in NHL history, except for the game back in the 90s when the Penguins won 8-0.
The big story out of last night's game, however, in fact, I don't know if you guys caught it, was the hit.
Blindsided.
The blindsided hit that the Boston Bruins player received. He is out for the remainder of the season. The Canucks player that, and his name has slipped my mind, that delivered the hit, is suspended for the rest of the playoffs, which he should be.
Right,
that was an inexcusable hit. I am a hockey fan. I'm a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. It's funny you mentioned the Pittsburgh Penguins. But now that the Bruins have won, they're down just one. They're still playing at home. They got a little fire in their belly because of what the Canucks did to them and taking out one of their guys for the remainder of the series. I don't think this is over by a long shot. The Bruins could definitely tie this up at 2-2, and then we got a best of 3 from there. And as they say, anything can happen.
I don't know a lot about hockey, but scoring 8 goals in someone like Luongo is a good goalie. It's a lot of goals.
8 goals in hockey is epic.
But Luongo's a great goalie.
Was it a power play all game long?
What? Jeez.
Well, the thing about hockey, I mean, 8 goals. To kind of put this in a perspective that makes a little bit more, sense for everybody who's not a hockey fan.
Right.
Scoring 8 goals in a hockey game would be like scoring 8 touchdowns in an NFL football game, or 8 home runs in one game.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't happen often, and when it does happen, you got to clap. Tip your hand to the Bruins. I mean, 8 goals is epic.
They showed them it's like we're not done.
Yeah, absolutely, and so it's going to be a good series.
Do you think it can go 7?
It could very well go 7. If Boston wins and ties it at 2, it very well could go 7. And if it goes 7, I say advantage Canucks.
And the thing is, I think about that. I mean, like, if it goes 2-2, it's anyone's series. But do you think Boston has any chance if the Canucks win and go 3-1?
If the Canucks win and put it at 3-1,
it's over.
I would pretty much.
I'm gonna say it's pretty much done.
It's tough to win like 3 in a row.
It's tough. I mean, hockey is a tough sport. Those guys, I mean, the athleticism.
Must have missing teeth there.
Yeah, the athleticism in ice hockey is unbelievable. I mean, you're talking skating ability that those guys have.
That's just a skate, let alone
look
at the puck.
And look at the goalies, for instance. Those guys wear so much padding, and yet their agility is unbelievable. The way they can duck to this way and duck to that way. And I mean, they're wearing. I mean, I used to play goalie in street hockey, and the goalie equipment is unbelievable. I mean, it really puts weight on you to do the stuff they do in hockey.
Yeah, it's a shame about hockey. They had to take that year off because of the strike period, so that kind of hurt.
And let's hope that doesn't happen in the NFL.
Oh my gosh, we've got 2.
I mean, it's getting on the verge because they're getting very close. It's almost.
I did hear secret meetings supposedly have been going on, and they're trying to.
I don't think any players are really informed of that.
I don't think it matters.
No, it doesn't.
I mean,
players.
You had Roger Goodell and Jerry Jones. That's all you got to say. I mean, so moving on to the NBA playoffs,
which as of this broadcast tonight, it could be 3-1 Miami,
or it could be
2-2 Dallas.
Me personally, should be 2-1 Dallas.
Absolutely.
Right now. I mean, first of all, let me just say that if the Miami Yankees do not win this championship, and I say that very
nice
seriously.
Cap joke.
Let me just say that seriously, because I'm totally against anybody, and this is for any sport for any reason, that buys their championships. Right. And the Miami Heat are doing the same thing that the New York Yankees do. They're buying their championship.
I did want to point out one thing, that everybody on the team this year, including LeBron James, and I'm not a Miami Heat fan at all. I rarely pay attention to the NBA. It's about this time that I do every year. But the fact of the matter is, everybody on that Miami Heat team, including LeBron James and Dwayne Wade,
Chris Bosh,
everybody took massive pay cuts.
Mike Bibby.
Everybody. Everybody took massive pay cuts.
It doesn't matter.
In order to do what Jimmy's talking about, what Postmaster's talking about here.
But, I mean, in all honesty, though, like I said, in Game 2, I believe it was, Miami had, a 15-point lead with 6 minutes to go. Blew it! Dallas come back. Basically, Dallas was saying, okay, you all want to sit there and celebrate and high-five and bump chests on the sideline. Well, Dirk Nowitzki, missing one finger and all, took the team on his back, which, by the way, guys, is it me, or does it really look like it's Dirk Nowitzki versus the Miami Heat?
Yeah, I mean, Jason Kidd's a veteran, but he's not really showing up yet. And Jason Terry's good too, but
it's 3-on-1.
If you get Dirk Nowitzki, just one more player, I believe the Dallas Mavericks will beat the Miami Heat.
And the thing is, like, they held that whole big spectacle last year. LeBron picks his team as like half-hour special on ESPN or whatever. If he doesn't win with Miami, then like
I'm gonna take my talents to South Beach.
it looks like if LeBron doesn't win, it looks like a bad decision on his part because he specifically went to Miami to be with Bosh and Wade.
Right.
And if he doesn't win, it's like, okay, then what'd you go there for if you're not going to win a championship? What do you have to do to get a ring on your finger? Because he got there twice with the Cavs and he didn't win. I mean, so now he has two of the people.
So if they don't win it this year,
they're not going to.
I see this number. This is what I see. If they don't win it this year,
what are you pulling out there?
Hello, Phil Jackson. Yeah, this is the Miami Heat calling. We need you to come coach for it.
He's retired.
We'll pay you whatever it takes.
Give me Michael.
Oh, thanks.
Give me Michael.
But see, that's funny because this whole lockout thing is pending because of salary cap.
Yeah.
That's going to be put on a salary cap. And the fact of the matter is, if this is the only shot this team has.
Yeah.
You're right.
Because after this year, I'm telling you, it's not speculation, it is not rumor, it is fact. LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade will not be on the same team next year because of the salary.
Was there a rumor there was be a strike for NBA too?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. The lockout.
Lockout for the NBA, lockout for the NFL.
What's going on with sports here?
No!
It's all about tennis.
Golf.
UFC.
Golf.
Yeah,
by the way,
tennis, UFC,
I would like
golf.
to make a quick side note on golf before we get to talking about some college sports here. It was announced today Tiger Woods will be missing the U.S. Open.
Shocker.
Due to his injury. We're not surprised.
No, we're not.
Doesn't you find it funny ever since that whole fiasco with him happened with his wife? He's just completely terrible.
Yeah, he's
he got in the hugest stroke of bad luck I've ever seen.
It's like all the sex that he was having with other people meant more than the sex he was having with his wife.
Yeah.
Whoa! No, but I did want to put out one thing.
Way to swing the club!
Well, I did want to put out one thing about the NBA for everybody who thinks LeBron is the greatest. Facts do not lie, and as of this broadcast, at 8:55 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time
on Tuesday, June 7th, I'm going to throw out a stat here, and you guys may not believe it, but it's fact.
Okay.
How many baskets has LeBron had in the fourth quarter the entire playoffs?
Not
just this series.
I'm going to say maybe 3.
I'm going to say 15.
3 is exactly right.
Yeah.
LeBron James in the fourth quarter, this entire everything, 3 baskets.
Sorry, LeBron is no 2-3.
This has been the Chris Bosh show. I mean, the Dwayne Wade show. It has been the Dwayne Wade show every step of the way.
Isn't it a testament of a good basketball player to come through in like the fourth quarter like clutch?
It is.
Yeah.
Then why did Scottie Pippen say on a Twitter that he thinks LeBron's the best ever when Michael was the most clutch player of all time?
Well, let's not
Actually,
forget.
Scottie Pippen bashed MJ on live
Absolutely.
television.
Absolutely.
Bashed MJ.
Nice teammate you have there.
Yeah, way to go.
We're not playing anymore. I can bash you all.
And I think the other thing worth mentioning here is Derrick Rose had the same problem earlier in this playoffs with the Bulls, unable to clutch in the fourth quarter. Guys, we're here to play 4 quarters.
The Bulls looked like the big favorite in the East.
Right, they really did, and then they ran into the Heat and kaboom. But yeah,
Right.
LeBron James, absolutely not the best player in the NBA. I'm gonna say it. I don't care.
Kobe.
I think it's Kobe.
Absolutely, Kobe.
And you can't just measure someone's greatness by championships. You can't do it because I thought that you could, but you really can't because Dirk Nowitzki is just an amazing player.
Dirk Nowitzki is
statistically.
awesome.
He needs people around him.
Yeah, he needs some more
He's
people around him.
never, since he's been with the Dallas Mavericks, Dirk Nowitzki has never had a good core of guys around him that can close the deal.
Kid may be a veteran, but his best years are behind him in New Jersey, and Jason Terry's not as good as he used to be either.
And Caron Butler is, and Sean Marion used to be phenomenal, but he can't keep from being injured. I mean, he didn't even play the other night.
Dirk needs people around him though.
So I mean,
he can't do it. If he does it on his own, like more power to Dirk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I mean, he obviously did put him on his back and win several games already this playoff season. I mean, he did it in Game 2 against the Heat. He did it in the Western Conference Finals. He did it where he basically just carried the Mavericks to the win. And that's great.
They destroyed the Lakers.
Oh, absolutely. Right. I mean, more power to Dirk. But so
maybe next broadcast we don't have time for it right now, but I definitely would like to throw out our top 10 greatest players of all time in the NBA, and I guarantee you, at least on mine, LeBron James is not even in the top 10. And I'm not hating on LeBron, it's just fact. He hasn't done anything. Everywhere he's been, except for Cleveland the first few years, he's had a core of people.
Okay, let me ask you this, and then we'll move off topic here, but if you were to create a top 10 right now, who's number 1?
MJ.
I'm gonna throw out a 3-way tie for number 1, and these are all gonna be in 1, 2, and 3 after I give it some thought. Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, and Michael Jordan.
Cool.
I definitely think so.
I mean, obviously there's a long list of very talented players in NBA's history. I mean, I agree with that. I don't think LeBron James is in that top 10.
He's
not yet.
He's definitely not in
Me
the top 10
personally?
as of right now.
Who I think you could have to throw in there? Larry Bird.
You got to.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
he's
right.
definitely
Larry
in the top
Bird.
10.
I mean,
16 championships.
16
one of the greatest white cats ever to play basketball. I mean, come on.
Jerry West in there. He is the logo.
Yeah, I mean, Trey West is the logo. But moving on to some more troubling news.
We got scandals everywhere.
College
Scandals!
football.
College football!
And
And it's not about football.
it's not even about football. What do we got here? Jim Tressel, what were you thinking, dude? I mean, seriously, let's call that what
Well,
it
it
is.
didn't seem like anything was gonna happen, but out of the blue, he just decided to resign.
Right. Well, no. I mean, I think the bigger issue here is how can you not think for 1 second that selling your memorabilia is what is going. For those of you who follow wrestling on this show and are just sticking around and into the
It's
wrestling,
like pause and
what's happening here is Ohio State football's head coach Jim Tressel was unaware that players by the name of
Unaware.
I can't remember the guy's name.
Terrell Pryor.
Terrell Pryor.
Which,
Thank
by
you.
the way, Terrell Pryor is not returning to Ohio State.
No, he's not.
Shocker!
Shocking.
I wonder why.
He was getting basically paid to play by selling all of his memorabilia,
Getting free
and
tattoos.
getting free
Tats.
tattoos.
Gotta get free tats.
And the kicker on this thing, the kicker on this guy.
No, not the kicker.
No,
Not the kicker.
Not the kicker. Not the kicker. He's actually quarterback, but not the kicker. The kicker on this guy is the fact that he showed up driving a new car every other month.
Without a license.
Without a license,
Do that.
running
That
stop
can't
signs.
happen.
Oh, no.
Who does that? If your program is under the microscope like that, like it has been, and you are doing stupid stuff like that, I am sorry, but you are just an idiot.
I mean,
Idiot.
Idiot. Absolutely.
the perfect analogy for Tressel, he was just hanging by a thread, and
And,
that just
and
cut
the
it
thread
loose.
broke. Yeah, I mean, and then Jim Tressel getting fired by Ohio State on Monday, and then all of a sudden, Friday, and then all of a sudden, Terrell Pryor says, "I'm not coming back to Ohio State. It's because you won't be able to play college football the rest of your career."
Well-
you understand what you've done. You've broken the #1 rule of the NCAA when it comes to amateurism. You took money for stuff that you should not have taken, including boosters giving you $100 handshakes.
But,
you can't
Gary,
do that.
It happens at every school.
Every
Look back
school.
in the 80s and 70s.
Let's be frank here.
No, you're right. It happens at every school.
Frank?
It happens at every school, but what doesn't happen is the blatant showing
Absolutely.
it off.
Absolutely, I agree. But we could go 20 miles to the east here, and it's going on at U of L.
Right,
We
it's
could
going-
go
it's going-
70 miles south. It's
going
going
to
on at
UK.
UK.
IU.
It's going on
everywhere.
And when I came out of the car today, when I was walking out of the car, I heard that Yahoo Sports is working on a scandal maybe regarding Texas. No information at all, but that Texas is as of right now under the microscope. Scandals are happening everywhere right now.
Go Longhorns or Wolfpack?
Hook 'em horns, man.
I mean, seriously, and I'm sitting here like I said, no information on that at all. Yahoo Sports is just
But
saying Texas is
to,
under the
to
microscope.
the Ohio State point.
To the Ohio State point, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much finer of an explanation you can put on this.
Well,
Ohio State,
I mean-
you just can't. You can't do that. And if the NCAA does not lay down the hammer on this,
Oh, they will.
I mean, they will. But if they think that they're going to get off light because Jim Tressel quit and Terrell Pryor's not returning,
Plus
you've got
4 other
another
players
thing
are
coming.
suspended for 5 games.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
well, look out.
If it would have happened anywhere else, including UK or U of L, this would have, and we say those schools because those are our 2 local schools.
Yeah.
We're not meaning to leave anybody out, but those 2 are local. If that happens anywhere else, those programs are crushed.
What about Baylor?
Wait a minute.
Only a matter of time.
But to me, Columbus, listen up. You took one of the greatest traditions in college football, and you demolished it. And you tarnished it.
What's that smell? Did someone forget to flush the toilet?
I
You
mean-
gotta flush it down the
The
toilet.
thing, the thing I don't buy is, like I said, Jim Tressel resigned. I don't believe they fired him. It's like it was best interest of the team. Well, duh. I mean,
You took
Resign.
a program
Yeah.
that's been nationally recognized for years, one of the greatest college programs for football ever. I mean, Woody Hayes, phenomenal. I mean, one of the greatest college football coaches of all time.
part of the possible not possibly, definitely the greatest college football rivalry in.
Absolutely. Ohio State
Michigan.
v. Michigan.
Right.
The greatest college football rivalry ever. And it's completely down the drain. And now we're also hearing, and Gary will get to this next, USC.
2004.
Guess what happened in 2004? USC won the national title.
They did not.
Oklahoma 55-19.
They did not.
Yeah, Oklahoma, I think, maybe the first person to ever win a national title while actually losing the game.
Well, no one's gonna win it. Just fake it now. So.
No, AP has said that they're still gonna. The AP has
Honor
said
USC,
that they're still gonna honor it.
Yeah.
Everyone else has got to honor Oklahoma. Congratulations, Oklahoma!
Oklahoma were the wind down the plains.
That's right.
Boomer Sooner.
And what's happened here is that the Heisman Trophy winner Reggie Bush. Yeah, there's too many Bushes in there. There's too much Bush in the NFL right
You talking
now.
about the Heisman winner who won that year?
That was Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
2004. That was Matt Leinart.
Yeah. No,
it was Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the title has been stripped from USC because of the Reggie Bush scandal and
Big surprise.
all that stuff. We knew it was going to come. I did not think that they'd strip the title. This is the first time ever.
And that's a big program that just got tarnished.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they got tarnished as bad as Ohio State because it happened so much.
Well, think about that. They had the scandal with Reggie Bush. Now they have the scandal taking the trophy away from them. That's like two bad things that program has gone through the past year.
Right, but all this happened in 2004. Ohio State's just not happening.
Right.
USC is on the comeback path. They can come back. They've already recovered their reputation. They're still on a lost scholarship.
Well,
that's all they're dealing with
me
now.
personally, if you think they're on the comeback, I don't know. I mean, Lane Kiffin is kind of controversial, and he did kind of give the old Knoxville University down there, old Tennessee,
the one
Big
finger
Orange.
salute.
He kind of gave them the one finger salute right up there, you know where, and
really did.
sent them. You know, he kind of did them dirty. And
kind of Bobby Petrino on, didn't he?
Oh God! Oh my God! I can't believe you weren't there. I'm not happy about that.
I wasn't either.
I mean, I remember that night very clearly. I'm sitting at Hooters watching a WWE pay-per-view, and it says breaking news: Bobby Petrino going to the Falcons, and we're like,
and then no, and then the Falcons are terrible. I'm not doing too good. I'm going to go back to college.
I'm going to go to Arkansas.
Really?
But even then,
really,
Bobby Petrino, that's a whole nother issue for a whole nother
I don't have the time to talk
We don't have the time to talk about it. I'll say this about Bobby Petrino. The year after he did that, UAK and U of L is about, as far as the schools go, it's about one of the two, they can't stand each other. The teams can't. I mean, right now we've got a little bit of friends in Charlie Strong and Joker Phillips who are good friends on and off the court, or the field as far as football goes, but everywhere else they hated each other. And the year after Bobby Petrino left Florida and went to Arkansas, I know so many U of L fans that dressed in blue because they played at Commonwealth Stadium that year after Arkansas did. Arkansas came to Lexington. I know so many people that wore blue just to diss Bobby Petrino. That's how much this man screwed U of L. Yeah. But anyways,
I got a good segue to lead in before we talk wrestling. Okay. You know me, I'm a big NASCAR fan.
I do know you, yes.
Who is this guy?
Did you guys?
It's Little Jimmy.
Little Jimmy. We'll get to Little Jimmy in a minute. But did you guys see Richard Childress, car owner for Richard Childress Racing, gets Kyle Busch in a headlock after the NASCAR Craftsman Truck?
This is racing now.
So a 60-something-year-old man gets a 20-something-year-old race car driver in a headlock and pummels him.
You know,
on pit road.
You know, Days of Thunder told me I thought Rubbin was racing. I guess headlocks are racing now.
And it was issued by NASCAR yesterday. Fine was rendered. Richard Childress $150,000 fine and placed on probation for the rest of the year. Let me tell you something about NASCAR probation. I've watched NASCAR since I was knee-high to a grasshopper.
Since you're Little Jimmy?
Exactly. Little Jimmy! NASCAR probation is like a slap on your hand from your mommy. It's like, don't do that again, little boy!
Yeah, Little Jimmy.
But an $150,000 fine to Richard Childress.
It's a drop in the bucket.
It's chump change. It would be like me and you going out and throwing $10 bill around. I mean, here, take it, Epic, whatever. Because this guy is a multimillionaire. He owns he owns 4 Sprint Cup teams. He owns a nationwide program, a truck program, an ARCA program. He owns his own winery in North Carolina as well. And I think more should have been done. I'm sorry. I don't think allowing an owner to come up to a driver and do what he did, I think that was reckless. It was irresponsible. And he needed to go about it a little bit differently than how he handled it.
Let me counterpoint that back to you. What would you do in that position? What
would I have
What was
done?
the punishment you would do? That's what I'm going to ask.
I would have taken him into a room.
I would have took his NASCAR license away for the rest of the year. Not let him on any NASCAR sanctioned track, office, or property the rest of the year. He can do all he wants in RCR offices. That's his property. He owns it. More power to him. But if it was me, I would have made him find a replacement to kind of be the on-track guy that showed. But to me, that's uncalled for, guys. I mean, you're
right. You can't do that.
In everyday world, if I did that to you, you could file assault charges.
Assault, absolutely.
I mean, because Kyle Busch couldn't defend himself because Kyle Busch is already on probation this year for an incident with one of Richard Childress' drivers, right. Kevin Harvick, actually. And so Kyle Busch couldn't do anything to jeopardize himself because he's in for the championship run. I mean, he's in the top 5 in points. He's competitive every year. So, and plus, if Kyle Busch retaliates, they're going to be on him like crap on steak. Right. I mean, because a 20-something-year-old kid beating up on a 60-something-year-old man, they're going to eat that alive. They're going to nail him. They're going to just be all over him. I mean, it just wouldn't be pretty. Yeah. And it was an unfair thing all around. NASCAR, love you. You dropped the ball on this one. I think you can do a better job next time when it comes to situations like these. And with that being said,
oh my God! You brought me up something about bad things in sports, whatever. I know, we talked about tennis in the beginning of the show, but
right.
What happened was an Italian player, his name was Fabio Fanini. He played a 5-set match against somebody in the
not Fabio.
Fabio. He played a 5-set match, and he started cramping up. His legs started cramping. There's a whole rule I can go in detail, but I'm not going to go into that. But basically, what happened is he ends up winning the match, but he had a lot of cramping problems. His next opponent was supposed to be Novak Djokovic. He knew his opponent was going to be Novak Djokovic, so a day before his match was even scheduled, he said, I want to default because he can't play. And even his own coach said, he got the word from Fanini also, but the coach said it also, if he was playing someone lesser that wasn't as good as Djokovic, he would have played. But since he's played Djokovic, he's not even going to try. That's appalling. And people said that might have cost Djokovic the match, and I agree with it. I mean, I know you don't care about tennis as much as I do, but the point is, someone is supposed to play a match.
Tennis?
What's tennis?
Someone's supposed to play a match, and just because he's better than other people, you say, I'm not going to play, that's completely unacceptable.
I agree. I mean,
That's like saying, if some low-level team like the Grizzlies got into the finals, it's like, oh, we're not going to play because we're going to play the Heat. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, or they'd be like, okay, Southeastern Missouri State, you drew Kentucky in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Good luck.
We're not going to play because they're UK,
like Bellarmine or not Bellarmine, like a technical college or something. It's like, we'll play them, but no.
No, absolutely.
So.
Now it's time to get to the subject that most everybody tunes in for.
I hope so.
Our take on this week's wrestling. Like you said,
wrestling?
What's that?
Finally?
Like you said before.
Finally!
We write about our truth.
Our truth.
Wait, before we go, props to Jimmy.
Yep. I need to do this. Yeah. We all said we are definitely gonna give Postmaster the props, but we all said on episode 2, the person who benefited the most was our truth.
We all said it at once too.
And then Postmaster nailed it right on the head.
He was
before it even happened, he said he was going to be the next one to face John Cena. Here we are, 2 weeks shy of capital punishment, and guess who is facing John Cena for the title?
Tell him, Postmaster.
Our truth.
Absolutely. Guys, we know what we're talking about here. We're not sitting here talking about fan favorites. We're not sitting here talking about what, hey guys, it would be really awesome if Rey Mysterio would be the greatest champion of all time ever. No, we're not talking about that.
And then Daniel Bryan won the Royal Rumble.
Right. We're talking about
and after that, we'll smile and we'll watch.
And we'll look pretty for the camera.
And when Miz wins the title, we'll make an awful face.
We'll cry. But when John Cena wins, we celebrate.
We're like, yay, fruity pebbles for everybody!
That's not it at all.
We sit here, we break it down analytical, guys. We're 3 episodes in, and we've already predicted.
I think every prediction we've made,
just about every prediction we've made has come true. We know what we're talking about. If you know somebody who's really big into wrestling, they don't watch us, pass the word on. Let them know we're the real deal. We know what we're talking about. We talk the business side of things.
We've watched it long enough, guys.
We've watched it long enough. We know how the business works.
Triple threat talk.
This is going to happen. This is not arrogance. First 3 episodes in, we can now base it on fact. We know what we're doing. We know what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
And we got to start it off by saying the question that was kind of not number one on everybody's list, but I was wondering where the hell was Karma the last couple of weeks. We got that question answered last week.
Kind of confusing because I'm going to say this right now, and I told you this, that I think they're going to
Big B told me this off air.
Karma, they're going to I think they're going to Karma lose, right? And I think that's what's going on. I completely deny the fact that I think she's pregnant, because if she was pregnant, she wouldn't be able to do the move she was doing for like a week ago, because she would,
unless she wouldn't have known.
Well,
it's true. I mean, it's possible.
I kind of agree with you. Well, I have to agree with him because
they market their divas as smart, sexy, and powerful. And she may be smart. And I don't know that she definitely is powerful, but I don't think she's sexy. I don't think anyone would find that sexy.
If you thought she was sexy, then we gotta have a.
I mean, Mark Henry might, and maybe Big Daddy V.
But see, that doesn't answer the question though. Where was she the last 2? Where was she the last 2 weeks? Everything we know is now answered. Look, we got to look at it like this. Once again, if I'm an employer and I'm having someone who's going out slamming on other people, and they are pregnant, I'm not going to allow them to do that. Exactly. I'm going to definitely do the allotted time that they did with Karma. Everyone's asking where she is.
Right.
She went in the week before when she broke down. She didn't touch a soul. Nobody touched her. To me, that told me something was up.
Yeah.
The next week, we got our question answered. Karma's pregnant. I think it's the real deal.
And the thing is now, she's pregnant, she's losing weight, or whatever.
She's gone.
The fact is, they brought her in. She's been there, maybe a month or 2?
Mm-hmm.
And she's been gone for a year.
Right, and see, this is also the thing I was talking about, cutting my losses. Last episode with Sin Cara, I said the same exact thing. We can apply it here to Karma. Karma, we love you, and I really do want to wish you good luck with your baby, and I hope to see you back in the WWE. But if I'm the WWE, as an employer, I mean, people can call me a cold-hearted prick all you want to. Doesn't change the fact you have to cut your losses.
I agree.
You have to cut your losses.
So, with that being said, last night, the season finale of Tough Enough.
And did you watch Tough Enough the whole season at all?
I watched part of it, but I
well, the thing about Tough Enough that I saw, Luke looked like the real deal from the beginning. If you've seen it, Luke looks like Randy Orton when he first broke into the business. That's how Luke was. And Luke had the look, he's got the talent, he's got the charisma. Luke had the whole package. And he made it to the finals against Big Andy, who
looks like Edge.
Yeah, it looks like Edge.
Does.
But the thing is, Andy didn't really break out till towards the end because he was kind of quiet. He called himself Silent Rage. So he was just silent. No one really knew about this guy. And then he started breaking out, and he ends up winning.
I'm not trying to make fun here. I want to ask a serious question. Yeah. Andy, do you think he guys has a speech problem?
Andy?
I mean, if you notice him talk, a lot of times, like when he's trying to speak, when he's real excited or like he's or nervous, you notice he kind of is like
barring.
Yeah.
The thing was the challenge that I noticed was like they had the challenge, like the Miz was there, and it was like they were getting a photo shoot for like WWE magazine.
Right.
You know, Jeremiah did it pretty well, and Luke ate it up. He's a pretty boy. He wants this. But Jeremiah didn't really do anything. Not Jeremiah. Andy didn't do anything unless they told him, like, break out. Like, does he have to be told to do something, or can he do it on his own?
That's the good question.
I mean, see, it's also in a controlled environment too. Tough Enough is not Raw. It's not SmackDown,
No.
and it's definitely not Superstars as well. But the fact that it's not a pay-per-view, it's its own thing. You're auditioning. Tough Enough is reality TV. It's people living in houses. The fact of the matter is you're still auditioning.
Right, and the thing is, he's not in WWE now anyway. He's got a contract, but he's going to go to FCW regardless.
Right, absolutely. So going into last night, it came down to Luke and Andy, obviously. They got to spend a week with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. That's
a great honor.
That would be amazing. And then
a week's not nothing, in my opinion.
And then after that, they got in the ring with Hugh Morris.
Bill DeMott.
Mm-hmm. And they both fought.
Who? I don't mean to cut you off here, but who was one of the greatest? Well, what they proclaimed as one of the greatest wrestlers started off against Hugh Morris too. Bill Goldberg. It was his very first match.
First win.
And he put him over really well. He definitely puts people over really well.
So they fought. Bill DeMott had a match. Each one had a match.
They didn't really show the match. They showed the highlights.
They kind of showed the highlights. So then we broke to live. It was live at Richmond, Virginia. Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler, we're here, Tough Enough Live, blah, blah, blah. Booker T comes out, Bill DeMott comes out, Trish Stratus comes out. All the contestants that didn't make the final two came out.
Except for Rima, who was absent.
And then, of course, the man of the hour came out, Stone Cold. Come down, and he said what he had to say. And right when he got ready to say who he thought would win,
someone came out. I'm not sure. Mr. McMahon.
Some kind of limo came up with
Mr. McMahon.
Vinnie Mac showed up, the real wrestling god, come down. And Stone Cold was not too happy with his arrival. He kind of said, "You dumb, you know what? You come down, you interrupt my show, and I'm trying to make a winner here, and blah blah blah." So Vince come out, and Vince asked each one, "Why do you think you should win?"
And he made a little bit of a slip up, in my opinion.
Yes, because he said, "Guarantee it." And Vince didn't like that too well. And Vince said, "What did he just say?" And Stone Cold was like, "I think he just said guarantee it." And so with that being said, Stone Cold, made his decision. He said he chose Andy to win. So Andy won. Vince McMahon said,
I picked the other guy.
Vince McMahon would have picked Luke. So then Vince McMahon proceeded to slap
the taste out of Andy's mouth.
That was pretty cool.
That was hilarious.
And then he got stunned by Steve.
And then Stone Cold picked him up, stunned him, and said, "Welcome to the WWE,
Welcome to
you
the
dumb
WWE.
son of a bitch," is what he said. So,
but it's okay because he got to shake his hand at the very end.
He did get to shake his hand.
And get a beer too.
So
and he grabbed a beer.
So they were standing in the ring, and who comes to the ring but Little Jimmy. I mean, come on, dude. Dude, I couldn't quit laughing.
Dude, that was freaking hilarious.
I was laughing hysterically.
Oh, my God.
He come out when little Jimmy comes marching home again. Hurrah, hurrah. I mean, that was epic. And I mean, Vince McMahon and Stone Cold's look was priceless because they were like... And so R-Truth proceeds to talk about this conspiracy against him.
Conspiracy?
What? He's seceding from the WWE?
No. And
say it's not so.
In front of Vince McMahon, he's talking about, Vince, you have a conspiracy against R-Truth. And The Miz comes out, and The Miz is like, Really?
Really?
You really want to talk like that in front of the boss? Really? So then The Miz proceeds to say, R-Truth, you don't deserve a title. I deserve one more title shot. So then, by the way, the new epic Alex Riley, which his theme music is epic.
I'm still trying to find that song.
And his new look is epic. And the fact that he's beat the living crap out of The Miz for 2 weeks in a row is even more awesome. He comes out, starts to say his piece. So then...
And then, of course, the worst thing...
Captain Fruity Pebble comes out.
To the WWE. Why are you wearing that shirt?
It just happened to be the shirt I put on, okay? Shut it.
Me is my Pebble.
Where's the soda drink when you need one? I'm going to go Little Jimmy on you.
That's not right. So Cena comes out and he looks at Vince McMahon. He's like, "Hey, boss," basically. He looks at Stone Cold and says, "You're about out of beer. Miz, you're out of title shots. Alex Riley, you're Alex Riley." In R-Truth, he's like, "You said your piece, you got your apology, now we're going to face it. Capital punishment." And then the dreaded...
And then the best line.
Best line from Mr. McMahon. Michael Cole.
Mr. McMahon.
Shut up!
Michael Cole's like,
why? I'm just doing what I'm told.
So, Vince McMahon's like, basically, I'm the boss and I overrule the GM. So tonight, the main event is going to be The Miz teaming up with
Little Jimmy,
R-Truth, or Ulysses S. Grant,
or Jefferson Davis,
or whichever you want to call him, to take on Alex Riley and John Cena.
Or A-Rye.
With Stone Cold as a special guest referee.
What?
Stone Cold as a special guest referee.
What?
Enough of that.
The bionic redneck.
The bionic redneck, yes.
What?
The Texas rattlesnake.
What?
Austin 316.
That's enough.
Yeah, that is enough, you're right. So we found out what the main event was, and Raw went to commercial. As usual. The first commercial of the evening. And from there we go to Brandon.
After that, wasn't Kofi Kingston facing somebody in the ring? They showed a promo for Kofi Kingston, didn't they?
It was Santino versus
Michael
McGillicuddy.
No one cares about that because I didn't really remember.
Get over yourself, man.
I thought you watched Raw. You lied to these people. How dare you?
But what happened was Santino
Picked up the win. With the
Cobra.
Did you see him go Ultimate Warrior?
Yes.
Yeah. He always does that.
And he's like,
Ultimate
Warrior.
I called up Batista.
Which, by the way, Batista's opening an MMA training facility. Epic fail.
I need a minute.
But then Santino won, and then we heard some words from Alberto Del Rio.
Alberto Del Rio.
And then the Big Show came out.
No,
that was the Big Show.
How could he have come out? He was injured.
The Big Show, he had those crutches and he was tough, but he
put on some weight.
He was eating some Twinkies in the ring, but
Twinkies,
yeah,
hot dogs.
But the Big Show, all he could say was.
What I want to know is where's Kane been at to defend his partner here the last few weeks? What are we doing with this? Because
although it wasn't the Big Show, it was.
I told you, Kane is still mad that the Rapture didn't happen on May 21st.
He's going to find what's his name,
Harold Camp. He's going to find what happened. He's like, what happened? What happened?
I'll be right the next time. I promise. You better be.
So he came out. And we all know that Ricardo Rodriguez was dressed as the Big Show.
He had a batting glove on.
I don't know what the hell that was.
What was that?
It was supposed to be
That looked like Freddy Krueger-ish, but...
yeah,
that was hilarious.
That's all I can say.
And then we had a Divas tag team match. Beth Phoenix? Where's she been?
Yeah,
Hello?
What's
Beth
going on here? And then... I just
Kelly
cannot
Kelly.
reiterate how lovely the Bellas are.
What's the best thing about them? They're stupid.
Yep.
2 scoops in every bite.
Twin magic.
I could take that a different way.
You could, but you're not going to.
No.
Keep it PG here.
And then what happened after that? We had
they had more wrestling.
We had more wrestling.
Wasn't the Kofi promo after that?
Yeah.
What was up with that? I mean, really?
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 But then, trying to build up Kofi and...
Well, I don't know if they're trying to build up Kofi or give Zack Ryder some screen time.
For his first
Hello?
11.
Who is that? Woo!
But he lost.
But yeah, I mean,
Are you
he
surprised?
No.
But see, Dolph Ziggler. Okay, this is new.
Wait, before you go into that, I want to say on here, you can agree with me, and I'll explain. Dolph Ziggler is the new Billy Gunn. And I'll explain, okay? When Dolph Ziggler first became Dolph Ziggler, he had kind of medium short blonde hair. Billy Gunn had medium short blonde hair. Then he became the one Billy Gunn. His hair was dyed brown. So was Dolph Ziggler. Then he dyed his hair back blonde, and so did Billy Gunn.
Are you insinuating that Dolph Ziggler and Zack Ryder are going to get married?
No, I'm saying this is Dolph Ziggler Billy Gunn. There's no Chuck yet.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know. I wanted to make sure you weren't trying to pull off a Billy and Chuck.
And the thing is, I was surprised about. I thought maybe Zack Ryder might win because I thought maybe Dolph Ziggler would get involved in attack Kofi or something.
Could be.
But see, I mean, that's the thing. This has all of a sudden happened. Where did this come from?
Where did this come from?
I mean, we have Vicky Guerrero, the Cougar, Dolph Ziggler, and Zack Ryder.
Woo.
What I want to point out a botch.
Wiki.
I want to point out a botch by Michael Cole.
Michael
Cole botching? No.
He called Zack Ryder Zack Ziggler.
He did not.
He did.
But I heard that.
He did.
He must have been to school with Sin Cara.
Poor Sin.
So,
well, you said Bautista's opening up his own MMA facility.
Again, I need a minute.
Sin Cara's opening up his own botch facility.
Again, I need a minute.
He botched again on SmackDown.
The thing I noticed now,
botch.
it seems like we'll talk about SmackDown too. It seems like that Sin Cara did that amazing finish from the top rope. He's not doing that anymore. He's doing some kind of tilt-a-whirl hurricane run of
That was the best thing he's done. But anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes.
Okay, so Kofi Kingston defeated Zack Ryder.
Surprise.
Of course. And for the second week in a row, one of the greatest feuds in WWE history. CM Punk versus the little guy.
Who cares?
Who does care?
I care.
Why?
About CM Punk.
I don't even care about that at this point. It's getting redundant because
Oh.
once again, after the match, nothing happened.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I thought this feud was over after WrestleMania 26.
How did the little guy win again?
But here's
More
the deal
reason I
here.
think CM Punk is leaving.
Here's the deal. Mason Ryan acts like he's going to get involved, but doesn't. And then CM Punk Rey Mysterio wins and leaves. Nothing happens. I could understand having this feud again if something is going to happen. Right now, it does not make business sense.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. Mm-hmm. From now on, when R-Truth comes out and cuts his promos, instead of saying "Little Jimmy," he should say "Little Ray."
But seriously, if I'm selling trying to sell this feud, I'm going to damn sure make well that something is going to happen in between these matches.
It just doesn't make sense.
It does not make
mold.
sense.
It's like they threw it all together at the last
Exactly.
Right, it maybe just to give because they don't really, I think at this point they don't know what they're going to do with the Nexus. We have their tag team champions, Michael McGill, the new Nexus, thank you. Michael McGillicuddy and David Otunga have the tag team titles, which is a good move.
Yeah, but
because it is giving the Nexus a little bit of prestige.
Please.
And when you're coming off 2010,
Fest.
the biggest shocker of 2010 was the Nexus, and I think you got to keep that up.
With that being said, anybody know what last night was?
Monday.
A good Raw, for once.
The 1 year anniversary of the demise of John Cena when Nexus made their debut.
That's right.
1 year to
Probably
the
one of the greatest moments in Raw history.
Absolutely.
Oh,
by the way,
yeah.
Before we move on, if you haven't noticed or you didn't see on Raw last night, I've already went and got my copy. Came out today. Best of WCW Monday Night Nitro.
Monday Nitro.
Hosted by DDP.
You gotta get it.
Yeah.
Gotta get it.
Gotta get it.
DVD. It's a pickup.
Epic.
I want to see the whole thing at the very end where Shane pulled the rug out from Vince. I want to see if that's.
That was hilarious.
That was the best. That was awesome.
Lex Luger putting Hulk Hogan in torture.
We're getting a little bit off track. Let's get.
We are not.
On track. But I definitely want to talk about for a second still the whole Nexus situation here. Why are they continuing to build this? Wake up.
Oh.
Why are we continuing?
I'm sorry, talking about the Nexus again. I fell asleep.
Why are we continuing to? If I've got somebody the Nexus, just join them for God's sakes. And that's what people want to see. People want to see the Core and the Nexus doing something together that is not homo related. People want to see them fighting. People want to. I want to see a 7-person Core Nexus foundation. That's what I want to see.
I thought we were going to see that last year.
I thought we would too. I mean, Wade Barrett is just an amazing talent, and right now he's getting no screen.
He's getting time. He fought Ezekiel Jackson on SmackDown, but again, he won it because of help by the Core.
And
makes him look bad.
It does. The whole thing is making it look bad. I mean, WWE is doing a lot of things right, but right now, unfortunately, they're also doing a few things wrong.
And I think the tag division is obviously the thing, and that probably falls into the line of Nexus and Core.
Right, and like I said, we're gonna. I think at one point, you've got to start putting together a story, and they might slowly be building it. But whenever you have as epic of a feud that Rey Mysterio and CM Punk was, to restart it like it is right now, and slowly building it forward, makes no sense.
Absolutely not.
It does not.
Same story, different day of the week.
And speaking of making no sense, we saw the continuation of the demise of the Miz.
We did. What are they doing?
So once again, they take a whole year's worth of build for the second.
Just like I said in the last episode.
2 out of 3 weeks you did, throwing it right out the window.
Absolutely.
What is going on?
So he's the Miz, and
he's dead.
He's not there.
So, Miz goes from headlining WrestleManias and main events to facing A-Rod at Capital Punishment. Which, by the way, is fully endorsed by the President of the United States, Barack Obama. And
so is our debt ceiling. Whoa!
Enough with the political talk. Yay!
That's a different show entirely.
Yes. This is not Glenn Beck here. This is Triple Threat.
Whoa!
That's true. But, so last night, main event, John Cena and A-Rye versus The Miz and our Truth, Little Jimmy. With Stone Cold as a special guest referee.
Didn't Stone Cold do something and get involved?
He did, and...
didn't the general manager send out a message about that?
I think so. I believe what happened was Stone Cold gave Miz a stunner again,
and then
which... before we move on,
Cena hit the attitude adjustment.
Cena hit the attitude adjustment, and with a 1 and the 2 and a 3, but then the GM said, bleep, bleep. Says this match has been overturned due to interference by Stone Cold, overuse of force. Therefore, R-Truth and The Miz are your winners. Which proceeded to piss Stone Cold something awful. He flipped the GM over, grabbed a cooler of beers from him in the ring, and proceeded to have a beer party with Alex Riley and John Cena. Which also led to we finding out next week on the special 3-hour All-Star edition of Monday Night Raw.
Presented by WWE All-Star.
That Stone Cold Steve Austin is the
special
GM for the 3-hour episode.
Interesting.
Any thoughts?
Well, it's going to be interesting. It's going to have both Raw and SmackDown people on there.
I think maybe next week. I mean, like I said, we can speculate. I mean, we're not predicting anything right now, but maybe next week's the week we find out who the GM is.
That'd be very good.
That would be great because I'm sick of the little beep.
This thing, maybe I think for a long time though the WWE didn't even know who it was going to be. They were just throwing in all sorts of kinds of things and maybe making it look like there was one person. I am under the strong opinion and strong assumption that they for a long time they didn't know who it was. Well, if they even still don't.
You know what? We've predicted a lot of stuff on this show, and let's do predictions right here. Who do you think the GM is?
There's just too much data. There's too much confusion. Nobody makes sense at this point.
I have an idea in my head, and I'll tell you why. But if you want to go
ahead.
Stephanie McMahon. Because here's the reason I say that.
Why?
I know it has nothing to do with WWE in general, but the reason I say that is, for some reason, every year the SmackDown vs. Raw video games, they take something from that and implement it into the actual show. In SVR 11, she was the general manager, and they take something from the game every year.
That is true. So you can't.
And the thing I have to ask again, when The Rock came out, said he was the guest host of WrestleMania, literally we forget that before that they showed a limo pulling up, and someone came out with high heels on. What was that about?
Yeah.
So
I'm not.
You heard it here. I said Stephanie.
I'm not ready to say that you're right, but time will tell.
So this is your prediction. You're writing it down. You're marking it down as a Stone Cold lead pipe lock of the day.
Stone Cold lead pipe locks.
So then we got to get into.
So who do you think it is?
There's just too much. I can't say. There's.
Can't even throw out a name.
There's
Chris
too much.
Benoit.
No.
Oh, come on.
Who?
Eddie Guerrero. Owen Hart.
Oh.
Okay. Eddie Savage.
Oh, come on. Actually, I know he actually brings up a good point, even though,
I'm sorry.
God rest his soul. He was actually rumored to be the GM also.
I'm sorry. I can't help. I couldn't help myself.
This show's going downhill.
Fast. You told me to throw some names
That's
out.
true.
Right? You didn't.
I meant alive.
Oh.
See, you didn't specify. That's the point.
Hornswoggle.
Really?
You see, he can't talk.
He's
typing?
What do you mean? What do you mean he can't talk?
Yes, he
He
can.
got to WrestleMania with the Bella Twins, which was amazing.
But yeah,
Jim Ross.
there's just too much. It could
Is that your
be.
pick?
No.
Okay.
There's just too much conflicting
What if it's
data.
Shane?
Could be.
No,
he's
way.
gone.
Oh, yeah.
He's gone.
But yeah, so we got to move on and cover SmackDown a little bit.
Only a few things I remember from SmackDown that are really important. Jinder Mahal did make his debut. The Great Khali is heel now. He's with Jinder Mahal. And the thing about Jinder Mahal is you really couldn't tell of any of his talent. He fought Yoshitatsu.
Who?
Yoshitatsu.
Who?
Yoshitatsu. And
Maurice's boyfriend?
Yeah. And I didn't really see I didn't really see any skills from Jinder Mahal, so you really can't judge him yet.
Who?
Right.
Come on.
See,
Taj Mahal.
See, though Ginger, he's not really a ginger.
Whoa.
What?
Huh?
That's
No,
right.
you're right.
That's a prediction.
So then pretty much SmackDown went on.
Do we got to talk about it?
What?
I don't know if I want to talk about it.
Okay, we'll get that in a minute. Cody Rhodes got another promo, and he did say he would eventually be the World Heavyweight Champion.
Well, we knew that.
He's not just another pretty face.
He's not. He doesn't. Anyway, that went on. A couple promos here and there. Then the main event of the night was Randy Orton versus Sheamus for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Sheamus lost!
Because a Christian.
I can't help it, okay?
Christian screwed Sheamus, which I'm not happy about.
Yes! Christian!
Christian got hit, like this, and then he goes, 1, 2, ow! Big baby.
punk. You know, to me personally, making Christian heel turn. Is this a heel turn, by the way?
I think it is, because if they're going to continue...
Because he walloped Randy Orton with the title.
Well, if you're going to continue on the path to give Christian a title shot, you can't have him be a face because there's no right.
Here's the thing. With Christian agreeing to turn heel and he's doing this whole program with Randy Orton, does he win the title again?
Yes. I say if the match is just... If the Sheamus isn't involved, maybe I'll fight somebody else in Capital Punishment. But if it is Christian one-on-one with Randy Orton at Capital Punishment...
Christian is a heel.
I say Christian wins.
We still have similar situations though going on in SmackDown and Raw, and the fact that R-Truth, a very big face, has just recently turned heel, and now all of a sudden Christian, a very big face, has recently turned heel, and they both find themselves smack in the middle of title races.
Let me just say that, heel or not, I've always liked Christian, and he's always been more of a heel more than a face most of the time. And his heel character is 20 times better than his face character.
And there are people who can pull off heels.
Just like Edge Edge was the greatest heel ever, I think, in my opinion. I mean,
I'm going to disagree with that a little bit.
He would play a heel like nobody's business. I've never seen anybody.
Heel also.
Shawn Michaels.
Triple H, you can't make a heel.
Shawn Michaels can't be a heel.
Neither can
back in the day. He was.
Triple H, you can't make a heel.
No, I don't know. He's
the original.
When he was in Evolution, Triple H was a good heel.
But the original DX is probably one of the greatest heel factions of all time.
Well, they got cheered eventually.
Well, eventually, but they started off as heels.
But I don't know. We'll see what comes of it. I mean, Capital Punishment is...
2 weeks away.
Let's run down the card that we know for
the
Capital
2 matches confirmed. There is, for the WWE Championship, John Cena versus Little Jimmy, R-Truth. And then Miz versus...
Can we all go out on the limb here and say that John Cena will not lose?
I think Super Cena is
probably here's the thing.
Is he going to go Super Cena too?
With every match
he may
that John Cena has, there's like a 95% chance he's going to win anyway.
Right.
But the thing they'll do with the match, and they always do this because that's how WWE is, they'll give points in the match where it'll look like we'll watch it, all three of us will watch it, and we know going in Cena's going to win, he's going to retain. But there are going to be points in the match where we think, oh my God, can R-Truth do this? There are going to be points where R-Truth is really hitting fire, hitting offense, and there's going to be close counts, one really close twos, and you're going to think, oh my God, can R-Truth win the title? And then we're going to be disappointed because John Cena's going to win anyway.
So. But see, I mean, the thing is, eventually you've got to sell a different product. And I'm saying that Cena doesn't need to go because as much as it hates to kill, as much as I hate to say it, Cena sells the WWE.
Absolutely.
It's just about as good as anybody else
and
can.
The thing is about Cena, like Hulk Hogan back in the day, if you don't know wrestling, you know who Hulk Hogan was, people know John Cena, but they don't know watch wrestling.
And see, the thing about it is, though, Cena sells the WWE just about as good as anybody else. You can have that happen and him still not be the champion. It is time for a different champion because it's getting monotonous. And I'll give you a prime example real quick while we still got time. Shawn Michaels sold umpteen millions in merchandise when he was not champion because they put him apart as something special. It's time for John Cena to be pushed aside, kept in the limelight like they can do with Triple H, Randy Orton, and Shawn Michaels. Keep him in the limelight. The time to give the title to somebody else. It is getting old. It is getting ridiculous. And you cannot tell me that somebody like that is going to win every single match they're in. It is getting freaking ridiculous. It is getting unbelievable.
Actually, believe it or not, if you look at the stats, and you can back me up on this, John Cena has a losing record on Raw.
On Raw, he does.
Yeah.
He does. But
defend the title on Raw.
I know, but I'm saying John Cena does have a losing record on Raw.
But that does not excuse the fact that he's won the title 16 gazillion times. It does not excuse that fact.
And then obviously you can make the argument.
Wow, he's old.
The Miz was champion for a good bit, and they just gave it back to Cena.
Right,
and Miz is now a mid-card against A-Rod?
Yeah, that's right.
A-Rod.
See, it's time. We said that Miz is on his way down. We said that. That's another thing we said that we touched on is right. He's now in the mid-card. He's not in the high card. People are going to be pushed up. They're trying to push people one person at a time with John Cena, and it can't happen. It can't work.
The thing I'm happy about is, honestly, and this is good for all three of us because we know John Morrison, I think he's going to get pushed in the top picture when he comes back.
Right. He needs to. Because Morrison, hands down, I will argue this point with anybody. Morrison has worked harder to get where he is than anybody else from a business standpoint and from a physical standpoint.
Absolutely.
The guy has what it takes. It is his time.
Here's a question I have.
Okay.
Before Royal Rumble next year,
Mhm.
does Alex Riley get a legitimate title shot against John Cena?
No.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
You don't think so?
No.
Nope.
Not ready. I think you're gonna say mid-card title. I would say yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't see it.
I'm thinking he'll be the mid-card champion before the end of this year.
Yeah.
You think he faces Kofi for the U.S. title?
Absolutely.
I think he'll have a little spat with the Miz and then move on elsewhere.
But do you think the spat with the Miz is to help build him up further?
Oh yeah.
I mean, if and obviously I'm gonna say this right now, even though the card's not finalized yet, the person that will benefit most from Title Punch will be Alex Riley because I think he's going to win, and that'll push him because he's getting a win.
You really think he's going to beat Miz at Capital Punch?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll mark that down now. I'll mark it.
Stamp it.
Stamp it.
I'm gonna have to wait. I'm gonna wait till the week before to make my prediction for the card, but got to make sure where everything is leaving.
Bold.
You heard it. He's marking it down.
Bold.
I'm gonna mark mine later on this week or next week when we find out what the final card is. Guys, we're out of town.
So this is Big B.
This is Postmaster Jones.
This is the Doctor.
Thanks for watching, guys.
See ya.